It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this leap year day, whatever you call this thing, February the 29th. We see once every 4 years. Those of you that are having a birthday today, you got a birthday for a change. Haven't had one for 4 years. Must be nice. Anyway, welcome to one and welcome to all. If you're new to this channel, welcome aboard. We continue our growth spurt. YouTube went through one of their periods where they go through and kick out people for various assorted reasons. So our subscriber count dipped a little bit earlier in the week. It's back up to where we were now. So we're sitting at 1,886 as of this morning. So we keep growing a little bit. And of course, the last couple of days, we've been in a lot more places, thanks to Emma Latisse being on our Chillie chat yesterday. That put us before her audience as well, which was nice. And also, we participated in a collaboration with Emma on her video on the Scarlet Lady, which worked out well for this channel as well. So if you haven't watched either the video on the Scarlet Lady or on our chat with Emma, please do so. You'll find that on this channel. So other than that, folks, if you are new, we regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, our interview shows, which are called Chillie Chats, and of course, travel and cruise industry news, which is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have Chillie's Cruises Cruise of the Day, which is a bargain. If you're hunting for bargains, you can take a look at the cruise deal of the day. That's all on this channel. So just hit that little subscribe button down in the lower right-hand corner and click on the bell notification, and you'll be notified as soon as we post something new or we go live. So, and as always, folks, we appreciate a thumbs up for anything we do. That lets YouTube know that somebody's out there and somebody is watching. The other thing, folks, yesterday on the chat with Emma, I had a background noise. I'm not sure if you call it feedback or not. I don't know another term, but I several second delay, and I was hearing what we were talking about. And I tried, as we were, if you watch the video, you'll see that I'm paying more attention to my console and what's going on than I am to Emma. But I was trying StreamYard, which is of course our streaming partner, and they asked a question I couldn't answer after the fact. So I'm really not sure what happened. I don't hear it this morning, so it's clearly not on our regular thing. So that's a good thing. So the lead story today, obviously, there's not any major news in the travel and cruise industry other than that larger overall story concerning health that to really talk about. So I've had several questions about Tina Turtle. Now, Tina Turtle, oops, that's the wrong finger. There's Tina Turtle. Tina Turtle was a real life being, folks. The portrait that is now overseeing all things Chillie Cruises. She's now the boss and in charge of things. Tina Turtle was in fact a turtle. She's a green sea turtle, if you're interested in that kind of thing. The model for the painting was a rescue at Gumbo Limbo Nature Reserve in Boca Raton, Florida. She was recovering from a boat propeller accident, which she did recover from and was released back to the wild. So Tina Turtle is out there swimming around someplace. I'm not sure where they released her back to the wild, but in turtle confines, someplace in her natural habitat. So she was a rescue, and she did recover. And when Amanda, my niece, actually started the drawings that eventually would become her painting that is now hanging behind me, the turtle was, of course, in its recovery mode. So Tina is pictured on a Red Reef, which I didn't know this, folks, is a specific kind of coral that is grown in the Boca Raton vicinity. And it's the only place in the world that coral grows. I may not be using the right terminology for coral, but you know what I mean. It's there and nowhere else. So that's a little bit of the backstory on Tina Turtle. She was painted by my niece, Amanda Sandos. And Amanda, by the way, when she sells a painting of something like this, like if the turtle painting, Amanda sends a portion of her fee to like in this case, to Gumbo Limbo Nature Reserve. She's done pictures of elephants that are from someplace in South Africa, and she sends a donation, a percentage of her fee for the painting goes to the reserve wherever it is in the world. So that's Amanda's art. So good for her. So anyway, that's the backstory on Tina Turtle, and Tina Turtle will be with us from now on in the Chillie Cruises studio, overseeing things and keeping me in line. All right, we'll be back in a second with some opinions on other things worldwide after this word from our friends. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scootaround for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise. Okay, a little sip of Diet Coke here, folks. Tastes good. All right. Everybody's well aware of the bath that everybody's been taking from the stock market this week. And folks, all I can say is keep in mind that a lot of that is technical in nature. Although it was brought on and heavily carried on because of the fears coming out of the overall health industry and those problems. Now, to me, there are some very good signs, folks, and I'm developing some really strong opinions about this. So I'm going to share them with you. You can tell me I'm nuts if you want to. First of all, the stocks in our space, the travel and cruise industry space, which was hammered awfully this week, showed some encouraging signs yesterday as Royal Caribbean was up $3.41. Carnival was up $1.61. NCL was up $2.52. Even into the hotel space, Marriott was up over $4. Oddly enough, the airline stocks were still down. So the travel space has been getting hammered all week, but at least there were some good signs yesterday for the cruise and hotel segment of the travel, cruise, and leisure space on the stock market. So that's a good sign. During the week, there were a couple more ships that had problems in the Caribbean because of the scare tactics, and they're being exacerbated by the media, I think. Although, yes, there is a problem, that it is real, but there's some things to keep in mind, folks, about this. But let's look at the facts. The Carnival Fascination had a staff person, one of the crew members, that got sick. They were supposed to land in St. Lucia. St. Lucia would not let them land. It kept them from coming ashore because of one sick crew member. It was later found out that that crew member had the regular flu, not the stuff that's a problem that ends with a 19 now in the name, that YouTube won't let me say. But it was just regular, plain old, ordinary flu. So the Fascination, which was sailing in the Caribbean, goes back into San Juan and changes for the next batch today, I think. Today or tomorrow. Anyway, whatever day the Fascination sails. Barbados did let them land, come ashore. And of course they got the test done, and it was to the regular. It was, poor guy had the flu. So earlier in the week, the MSC Meraviglia had a similar situation, and it was refused entry into Ocho Rios and Grand Cayman for much the same grounds. The Meraviglia has now been given a complete clean bill of health. There is none of that bad name stuff on board. And it was simply colds and regular plain old flu. Now, so you had problems on top of more problems in the cruise industry for nothing. Yeah, they're being careful. I understand that. I understand the real issues that we had with the diamond over in Japan. I understand all that. So, folks, I am not trying to downplay any of that. But we're getting into the point that we're letting fear control us on an issue that we really can't tell it apart from regular flu. Don't get me wrong, folks. Flu is bad. Flu can kill you just as well as anything else. I take a flu shot every year, which I used to not even do that. But the last 4 or 5 years, my doctor said, look, you're getting too old to not take a flu shot. Take the flu shot. So I do. I take it every year. Now, this new stuff and regular flu, you can't tell it apart. So if someone is right next to me that has the regular flu and I have the new stuff, there's no difference, people, in what you see. Yeah, the strain is different. And yes, obviously, it does not react to the known drugs that we have, which is why they're trying to develop new vaccines. And that's going to take some time. And that's not going to affect anything for this year. By the time it is tested and proven and manufactured and distributed, this is for next year. Okay? So what happens to a flu? A germ, what that causes the flu, if you don't want to call it a germ. Don't get me on the technical stuff because I'm not a medical person. Spring comes and the flu season goes away. The flu season, we have the flu season in the winter when it's cold and damp and wet and cold and snowy and cold. That's when you get the flu. Yeah, I realize warm places have the flu too, but it's worse in cold weather. Once spring comes, the flu season goes away. You don't get the flu in the middle of the summer normally. And there's nothing to prove that this isn't going to do the same thing. So let's hope we have a nice early spring. The global warming, and again, folks, I'm not making a political statement, but the global warming folks, let's hope that they're right on this one and that we have a nice early warm spring and this goes away. Oh, maybe it comes back next winter in the flu season someplace. It could be here, could be someplace in the world. But by then we'll be better fixed and have a fix, some kind of medication for this specific strand. Or they mix something with the other vaccine that they give for the flu vaccines, and it takes care of this one. So that's the part of it that we're reacting, not only us, the countries where cruise ships are going is reacting on fear, and it's hurting everybody. The stock market clearly has reacted on fear. When, a lot of this, yeah, it's bad where it's gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand because people weren't properly prepared. And now you've got countries, and I do feel like our country, and again, I'm not making a political statement, folks. I don't like the tone of some of the things that are being said by our administration, but it appears to me that the CDC is doing their job, and they've got a decent plan on keeping the spread at a minimum in the United States. And as a result, other places in the world. And it's common sense, folks, and I'm the first one to tell you, you got to wash your hands a lot, 20 seconds at a time. And I know that's a pain in the butt to stand there and scrub your hands for 20 seconds. And again, I'm a bad one on touching my face, moving my glasses, don't touch your face. Those are the two biggest rules. And if you do that, you don't have a whole lot to worry about. The other thing is it's worse on elderly. I'm elderly, so I'm in that category that have pre-existing health conditions, things like diabetes, those kind of things. It's worse on folks like that have pre-existing health conditions and are elderly. That's the worst group, the ones to be the carefulest about it. Don't run out and buy a face mask, folks. That does absolutely no good. And it keeps the face mask away from where it's needed the most, which is the hospital workers that are around the stuff all the time and are trying to keep the transmission down when it offers no protection to you, the consumer, if you're wearing a face mask and you're not sick. Now, if you're sick, if you've got a cold or you've got the flu, then that's when you need a mask to keep from you spreading it to anybody else. It's not keeping somebody else around you from spreading it to you. It does absolutely nothing. So from that standpoint, that's hurting the whole process. So don't go out and buy a face mask. It's not going to do you a bit of good unless you're sick. And that keeps you from giving germs to somebody else. So that's my take on all this. Again, I am much a believer in that this is going to pass, folks. And I see the signs that we're heading in the right direction for this. The rate of increase in places like Japan and China are dropping. That doesn't mean that it's over the hump yet, but the increase is lessening. Good sign. Yeah, we've had a couple cases now in this country that appear to be from no contact with somebody that's been to any of those affected areas. It's flu, folks. It's like a flu. Even though they're not calling it a flu, it's like a flu. It's reacting like a flu. And I think if we treat it that way, it will be okay. And again, and I'm not lessening the fact that flu can be very dangerous and they have deaths every year from flu. I understand all that. But anyway, again, for things like the carnival fascination, they're basically stopping. They stopped an entire ship for one case of regular, ordinary household flu. The Meraviglia, which was refused 2 ports and had to end up reimbursing 4,000 people for their cruise because they were refused 2 ports from one staff member that had traveled. I think he had traveled from the Philippines or something and had regular flu, as it turned out after the testing. Now, yeah, I understand the fact that they didn't know that when they made those calls, but like, come on, folks, we need to be a little more realistic on all this, I think. I've been asked numerous times if I would cancel a cruise in the summer months. Somebody's planning on going to Europe in the summer. Should they cancel? No, I wouldn't. My cruise in May, I'm not canceling, and I'm going in an area that's not going to be warm enough to kill what if it's in the air or however it is. But keep in mind, folks, this is from all indications is going to act just like flu does. So give us a good spring and get into summer months. It's going to be fine. It's going to be gone. So don't screw up your plans now and pay penalties and all that for canceling for something that may not be there. If you want to wait another 30 days and see what things are looking like in 30 days, okay, maybe that would be prudent. But I would not change my plans now and in 30 days say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So sit tight, folks. The travel industry has taken a licking this week. Thank heavens we saw a little bit of improvement yesterday. I hope that will continue. I hope come Monday, the markets might start bouncing back. I mean, I've lost a ton of money over the past 10 days too, in my investment account. That happens. That's cyclical. I made a ton of money going into this mess, so I guess some of it was given back. It'll come back. No, I'm not worried about that part of it. So anyway, guys, that's my opinion on this stuff. And again, I'm being very careful not to say the words that YouTube just does not like. And I'm sure they're going to ding me again for at least 24 hours, and then they'll decide, oh, well, yeah, that wasn't so bad. But that's just the way they're doing it now. So for now, that's it for travel and cruise industry news. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I'll be back with you on Tuesday for travel and cruise industry news. I'll be in Monday for a Chillie's deal of the day. And of course, if anything breaks over the weekend, up until either of those programs, Monday and Tuesday, I will immediately do a live stream to bring that information to you. But until then, folks, be nice to each other. Please be good to each other and be nice. So and before I go, I see, Jason popped in. Good morning, Jason. Hope things are well in Pittsburgh. He says your chat with Emma was awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. I certainly enjoyed it. So anyway, that wraps us up for this morning, guys. I will see you sometime over the weekend if anything happens. And if not, I'll see you Monday for Deal of the Day and Tuesday for Travel and Cruise Industry News. This is Chillie, the Fat Travel Guy. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for watching today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.